Gentlemen, it's Ron and I help high responsibility men get lean and optimized with my Apex metabolic system. And today I'm going to give you the exact framework I use with my clients and myself to stay lean, eating at restaurants 5 times a week. No meal prep, no calorie counting apps, just decision rules. If you're a man who eats out by necessity, client dinners, airports, business lunches, this video was specifically built for you and I highly recommend staying until the end. Let's get straight into it. All right. First of all, let me tell you why the last nutrition plan you tried didn't work. It wasn't because you lacked discipline, it was because the plan was designed for someone else with a completely different life than yours. The fitness industry is built or has built nutrition for people with predictable schedules, people who go home at 5 p.m., people who have Sunday mornings free to cook 6 containers of chicken rice, people who eat the same thing every day because their life allows it. That's not your life. Your life looks like this: Monday back-to-back meetings, grab something from the cafe downstairs, and Tuesday is a client dinner at an Italian restaurant. Wednesday you flew interstate, ate at the airport, late hotel room service. Thursday could have had a team lunch, couldn't exactly pull out the Tupperware container in front of your direct reports. And on a Friday, there's a partner dinner at a steakhouse, for example. So that's 5 meals out in the week already, 5 different menus, 5 different social dynamics, and every single meal prep plan on the earth just shattered. Okay? Here's what nobody tells you. Nutrition for executives isn't a food problem, it's a decision-making problem. You make hundreds of high-stake decisions per day. By 7 p.m., your willpower is depleted. Okay? And now you're sitting in front of a menu with no framework, so you either restrict, you order a dry salad, feel miserable, and resent the process, or you say screw it and eat whatever you want because you've earned it. Okay, so there's one extreme to another extreme. There's no in between here. Both responses fail. One kills your progress, the other kills your consistency, and the cycle repeats every single damn week. What you actually need isn't a meal plan, it's a decision tree, a set of rules simple enough that they require zero willpower to execute. Rules you can apply at any restaurant in any city at any meal without thinking. And this is what I call the restaurant decision tree. 3 rules apply to every meal in any scenario. Rule 1, protein anchor. Rule 2 is vegetables default. And rule 3, enjoy the rest. Let me walk you through exactly what this looks like in practice, okay? So scenario 1, the steakhouse. This is the easiest setting on earth for staying lean. Most men just don't know it. Here's my exact order. Fillet or ribeye, that's 40 to 50 grams of protein in one shot. Side of green vegetables, broccolini, asparagus, green beans, whatever they have, okay? Skip the bread basket, not because bread is evil, because it's empty volume that adds nothing to your goal and it arrives when you're hungriest, okay? 1 glass of wine or a whiskey if you're drinking, not 0, not 5, 1. That's if you do drink alcohol, okay? Structure, not restriction. That's the philosophy here. Structure, not restriction. That meal, steak, grains, 1 drink, is somewhere between 600 and 800 calories depending on the cut and portion. So that's a high protein, moderate fat, low carb. And you felt like a king eating it, right? So nobody at the table noticed you were on a plan because you weren't on a plan. You were operating with decision rules. The key principle here is protein anchoring. The moment you sit down, your first decision is what's my protein source? That's the decision, okay? Everything else builds around that. This eliminates the willpower drain of scanning an entire menu. And especially when you're tired at the end of the day and you're scanning a menu with lack of willpower because you've drained it all, you're setting yourself up for failure. But this eliminates that failure, right? So scenario 2, the airport. This is where most executives completely derail. You're tired, you're rushed. Everything around you is designed to sell you convenience, carbs, muffins, sandwiches, pastries, fast food. Let's not talk about the prices, but here's the pre-decision framework. Before you walk into the terminal, you've already decided what you're eating, not where, not what. You're looking for one of 3 things: a protein box, a grilled chicken salad, or a simple meat and vegetable plate from any sit-down restaurant, okay? The principle here is pre-decision eliminates willpower drain. You don't browse, you don't negotiate with yourself. You walk in knowing what you're looking for. And this is the same principle you use in business. You don't show up to a negotiation without knowing your walkaway number, okay? So if the options are genuinely terrible, and sometimes they are, you eat the best available option and move on. One imperfect meal doesn't derail a whole system. Only abandoning the system derails the system, okay? So scenario 3, the Italian client dinner. So This is the one that trips up most men because the social pressure is real. You're there to build a relationship, you're refusing food that feels awkward, ordering a plain salad signals something. Okay, so here's how I coach my clients to sit through it. Start a grilled calamari or a simple green salad. Main, it can be a grilled fish or chicken. If pasta is being shared, take a small portion. You got to enjoy yourself a little, right? Eat it, enjoy it. Don't make it the centerpiece of the meal, however. And so the key is nobody notices what you're eating when you're eating with them. They notice when you're not eating. So when you refuse everything, you become a topic. And when you eat strategically, you're invisible. And so that's the goal here in terms of the eating habits. So structure, not restriction. Your nutrition framework should be so seamless that no one at the table knows it exists. Now, the question I always get, what about weekends? Here's the rule. Weekdays equal precision, weekends equal guardrails. So during the week, you follow the decision tree tightly. Protein anchor every meal, vegetable defaults, control choices. This is where the work gets done. Weekends, you keep one guardrail, protein first. Beyond that, enjoy the barbecue with the family, have the burger, share the dessert with your wife, live your life, okay? I'll leave it at that. But why does this work? Because 5 days of precision creates enough caloric and nutritional structure that 2 days of flexibility don't undo it, but you have to be careful. You can't blow out, okay? I'll keep that in mind because if you don't have guardrails on the weekend, you can blow out your whole week. So this is a principle most meal prep programs miss entirely. They demand 7 days of perfection. You deliver 5 days of discipline and then Monday hits and they've already failed because they've cheated on Saturday, which is what I was talking about before. And now the whole thing feels broken. My system doesn't break on Saturday. It was built for Saturday. Now let me give you the layer beneath the framework. Because I don't just teach my clients rules, I teach them why the rules work. That's the difference between following a plan and owning a system. So protein anchoring works because protein has the highest thermic effect of any macronutrient. Roughly 25 to 30% of the calories from protein are burned by just digesting it. So compared that to carbs at around 8% and fat at about 3%. So when you anchor every meal with 40 to 55 grams of protein, you're not just building muscle and staying full, you're literally running a more efficient metabolism. And so the vegetable default works because fibrous vegetables add volume and micronutrients without adding significant calories. Vegetables also slow gastric emptying, so which means that you feel full longer. And they stabilize blood sugar, which prevents the insulin spikes that lead to afternoon crashes and fat storage. So there's a correlation between insulin and fat storage as well, and cortisol and insulin spikes as well. That's another topic, but so the enjoy the rest principle works because the enjoy the rest principle works because being rigid creates psychological resistance. The moment you tell yourself you can't have something, that thing occupies mental space, disproportionate to its actual impact. Right? When the framework that you're following allows flexibility within a structure, compliance goes through the roof, adherence goes through the roof, and my clients don't quit because they've never felt deprived. Okay, that's a key word here, deprived. You don't want to ever feel deprived. This is the difference between education and a process. A process tells you what to eat and education tells you why. So you can apply it at any restaurant, any city, any country for the rest of your life. Okay, so let me show you what this looks like when someone actually applies it. I'm working with a project manager at the moment at an engineering company. He's a husband, he's got kids as well. And he travels for work every single week. And I don't mean business class flights to cities with great restaurants. This specific scenario, regional travel, petrol stations, convenience stores, service centers, stuff like that. The worst possible food environment you can imagine, okay? So before we started, he was stuck. He didn't have time to cook. He couldn't meal prep because he was never home long enough for it to make sense. And every nutrition plan he tried before assumed he had access to a kitchen and a predictable schedule. He had neither, okay? So it's a very tough situation here. And so when he came to me, we didn't start with a meal plan. We started with his actual week. Where is he driving? What are his only options? What does a Tuesday look like when he's on a job site 3 hours from home? And then we built decision rules around his real constraints, not the constraints a fitness influencer imagines from their apartment, right? So 6 kilos down in 2 months, consistent downward trend on the scale the entire time, while traveling every week, while managing projects, while being a husband, while being a father. And here's the part that matters most. He didn't have to change his life to get the results. He applied a framework to the life he already has. Petrol station, protein first, grab the chicken wrap, skip the pastry, service center pre-decided before you walk in. Start lunch, same 3 rules, okay, that we spoke about before. That's not a diet result, that's a system that survived the real world, right? And so here's the truth that most fitness coaches won't tell you. And it's because they've never lived your life. Let's be honest here, right? Your nutrition plan should survive a business trip. It should survive a client dinner. It should survive an airport layover, a wedding weekend, a Tuesday night out, when you get home at 9 p.m. And the last thing you want to do is cook, right? So if it can't survive those things, it's not a plan. It's a fantasy built for someone with a different life. And the men I work with don't live in controlled environments. They live in boardrooms, airport lounges, hotel rooms, restaurant tables, on the go 24/7. And their system needs to work in every single one of those places. Structure, not restriction. Decision rules, not meal plans. Education, not a process. And that's how you stay lean, eating out 5 times a week, not by fighting in life, but building a system that fits it. So if this was useful, here's what to do next. DM me the word macros on Instagram and I'll send you a free personalized macro calculation built for your schedule, your body, your goals. No strings, no sales pitch, just a number that actually fits and works for your life. And if you're ready for the full system, the decision tree, the blood work analysis, the training, the accountability, there's a link in the description to book a free discovery call with me, one-on-one. Either way, build a system that fits your life, not the other way around. So if this was useful, first subscribe to the channel, and here's what to do next. DM me the word macros on Instagram, and I'll send you a free personalized macro calculation built for your schedule, your body, your goals. So if this was useful, first of all, subscribe to the channel, and here's what to do next. DM me the word macros on Instagram, and I'll send you a free personalized macro calculation built for your situation, your schedule, your goals. No strings attached. It only takes about 45 seconds, and it's all done through the Instagram chat, and you get your numbers straight away, okay? And if you're ready for the full system, the decision tree, the blood work analysis, the training, the accountability, the full bespoke program, there's a link in the description to book a free discovery call as well. So either way, my philosophy is building fitness around your life, not the other way around. So gentlemen, I'll leave you with that, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.